Hey, friend, thanks for joining me. I'm really excited to have you here and to tell them or whoever's watching just a little bit about your experience in working with me. And so, if you could tell them what was it that made you decide to jump in and better your health and work with me specifically?
Well, thank you for having me. And I think, first of all, one, knowing you already, known you since high school, well, before high school, junior high. And so I think also just what started with was when you started doing your workouts on Facebook Live. So I kind of just started there. And then you had just mentioned that you were going to do this plan. And so I thought it was important for me just because I was feeling like the working out for me, like I love that. That's always been a crucial part of my life. But I think the food thing kind of goes like a roller coaster. Sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes you kind of fall off track. So I wanted something to get me back on track. And I felt at that time, knowing you, trusting you, knowing that you would definitely have different options and be very supportive through it. And all of those things were met through the whole entire plan. So I think that part of it was great, was just that you were always available. You had other ideas, and I wanted to try something to kind of challenge myself. And I felt like it was definitely a really good plan put in place. And it wasn't where I felt like I was always starving, but I felt like you would will help me through some of the things if I was. So just, I think for me, it was just, you have a very supportive feeling. Like I feel like I could ask you any of those hard questions and you would be there to answer, support, and are very responsive that way.
Oh, thank you. And so you did the 30-day detox, or we called it the summer burn at that time.
Yes.
But since I've called it the 30-day detox, just to kind of make it more generic, I guess. But so tell us about your experience and what you had maybe in the first 3 days, because we know what that entails. But what was that like?
So I think for me, just like, first off, it was very organized. And I think that helps me a lot. So I think I loved how you supported it by having all the grocery lists set. So you knew what you had to go pick up and you gave examples of different brands. And if I couldn't find it, you would suggest different stores. The 3 day detox, I think at first I was like, whoa, that's a lot of avocado. Like, I think that was my big, like, it's a lot of avocados. But then it was definitely the idea of fat burning. And but I was never starving because I think I've done detoxes at times where you're just like by 6 o'clock at night, you just want to eat, eat, eat. And I didn't feel that way. So I felt very full throughout it. I still honestly still use the shake, the detox shake. I still put that in like throughout the week at times just because it is a perfect, because I think that 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock time has always been tricky for me. And it's a perfect filler upper. So I loved that one. That was a great part of the plan. And I survived those first 3 days. I never felt completely like starving. I think also just the variety. There's a lot of avocado, but also at the same time, it was very it wasn't, I don't know the word I'm trying to go. Like it just, you didn't get tired of like avocado. Like it was a good mixture of things. So I enjoyed it.
And what results did you have after doing the 30-day detox?
So the first part of it, like I noticed, was just energy. And I lost weight. So I lost probably between 8 to 10 pounds. And
Oh,
so, and I felt great. And I felt like very healthy, good energy, sleeping really well. I think also just one thing for me that it's like, it just gave me kind of the idea of like eating certain foods that I don't eat as often. So like perfectly during the summer, like having fish a lot more in my diet. Definitely just having more greens in my diet because I think that's something that we always have in our head to do, but we don't always do it. So I think it just naturally had that happen. I think also the way you set up a lot of those recipes was to prepare larger amounts of it. So you had it already done. So when it came back that next week, it was already prepared. So I think also just that whole idea of meal planning and prep was really important in it. I think that taught me some really good skills doing the plan.
mhm.
And I enjoyed it. And I definitely have been trying to like, I'm like, I think I'm going to pull that back out and do it again. So it's just something that I didn't feel like it was daunting or overwhelming. And I think that's really important because I didn't ever want to just give up. Like I didn't want to like after the detox be like, I'm done. Like this was hard. Like I never felt that feeling. I kept wanting to do it. And everything I enjoyed. So there's nothing I didn't really like dislike or like, "Ooh," and if I didn't like, we it was able to make changes and you were available to talk through those with me. So I think that was important too.
Yeah, good. And I have some new recipes to share with you soon. I told
Yay.
you it's coming soon. But
Awesome.
anyways, one other question, one last question.
Mhm.
What would you tell other people that are on the fence and don't really know me or don't really know what I can deliver or give to them, who are sitting on the fence saying, I really want to lose weight or I want to feel better, but I just don't know. I'm not sure.
So I've had several friends reach out about that just in regards to when I did it this summer. And so I think for me, what is important was I kept sharing was that you were available to talk, you
Mhm.
were available to talk through it, and then actually make the plan accommodate you. So it wasn't like you have to, here's a structure, but I will make it work for you. And I think that's one thing that's really supportive and very comfortable with people. And I think I have a friend currently in the midst of talking with you, just because I think for her, she's trying to look for something that's going to work with her lifestyle. And I think now a lot of us working from home, I think trying to find this is this plan was very convenient for me because the other piece of it was I did it in the summer and I wasn't directly working. So being a teacher, I was constantly on the go. So it was actually a plan that I could actually do, and I think that I could actually take when I'm going back to work and just
Right.
do it like that.
And
So
geographically, we don't live near each other.
no.
About a 6 hour drive. And so it's possible to work with somebody like
Mhm.
yourself or
Yes.
work with me as in a virtual way. And so how was that experience for you?
Wonderful. So I think for you, like, I mean, you were always willing to set up a phone call with me, willing to just email back and forth. Um, I think what was great was like, I'd be like, okay, what crackers? And I would message you and you would message me within seconds back. And so I think even just having this opportunity to do this conversation right now, it works out great. Cause I think for me, it's like, I could physically be like, here I'm in my kitchen with you right now. Can we talk through this? Like, I think that's just like in the moment being able to
Yeah.
discuss that and share that with each other. And you would be like, no, like, this is what I want you to do instead and stuff like that. So I just think that I know you really well, but I also know like if my friends came to me and asked for something, like you are who I'm recommending. Like I'm suggesting you to my friends because I feel that I felt good about it. Like I feel I've done other plans and this plan, it's something I want to keep doing because it's easy and I don't feel like I'm exhausted with it or anything like that. So I think there's just something where I felt really good about myself. And I really appreciate that you put something together that was very easy to do and taste good. Like I think sometimes you do plans that don't taste good.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
just and I appreciate that. And this that fact that you're there, that that you're available to answer questions and that you encourage and you want us to do a good job on it and you want to help us with it. So
I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for being available today to ask these questions and to actually, do the program and
yeah.
to really do the do. That's the thing as I always put it back on the clients to say, you did it. It's not like, that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you is that you were ready and you were willing to follow it and do it the way it was prescribed in in the plan and you had great results. And that's key, right? The
Yeah.
consistency of
Yes.
doing something. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, for sure.
good for you too.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.